What's up, guys? Hope you're doing great. This is your boy Kobbyshots, and in today's video, yes, of course, I'm pretty sure that your eyes are leaning towards this direction. With me is the beautiful,
Sweet baby white.
yes, and yeah, she's going to be asking me a couple of questions pertaining to my just ended film premiere that I had here in Kumasi, in Ghana, and it's titled, yeah, Trapped. It was remarkable. Of course, she honored us by her presence, coming over to also host the red carpets. So she has a couple of questions that she wants to, ask me, and I'm going to do my best to explain thoroughly what ensued throughout the shoot, from pre-production to production, then to post-production, then after the premiere, and all that she may want to ask questions about. So yeah, I'm all yours.
Hi, Kobe. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully well. Yeah, I was actually under the weather for quite some time, but I'm doing better now.
All right.
I'm doing better now.
Okay. So, Trapped, it's in 4 sections. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, 5 actually.
5 actually.
Yeah, 5 chapters.
Okay.
Yeah, initially it was supposed to be 4, but we decided to add a 5th one because the 4th one was getting a little bit more lengthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. So is it more like part 1, 2, 3, 4 combined, or it's just a full feature film?
Okay, it started out as a short film.
Okay.
Trapped started out as a short film, and we normally, myself and the team, Casti, who put together the story idea and also developed it into the script. We sat down, we thought of it that how about we create some content for YouTube, some short films, as we waited on for enough funds to be accumulated for a subsequent bigger project right after Room 406.
Okay.
Room 406 did well, and so we decided to jump onto another one. But before then, of course, we needed to put some things in order. So Trapped was one of the many short films that we have on the channel, Creators Productions. So we decided to film that with a couple of new faces, and we pushed ourselves a little bit against the wall because we planned to shoot everything to occur in just a space of time. And when we put it out there after it was done, we were very, very much impressed, but we can't tell how people were going to actually take it. So when we put it out there and people were over it and talking about it, like, how is it going to end, we want the continuation and all that, we felt like we've actually done something great that I think people will be looking forward to a series of or a sequel of Trapped as a short film.
And I must say the premiere was massive. It was mind-blowing. I knew that people were going to come, but not as much as they did. It was
blown away too. Yeah, it was
so full.
It really was.
Wow.
People came through in their numbers, and we were very surprised actually. Even though we're looking forward to seeing numbers, looking at the capacity of the space, we really had to work hard to guarantee that we had enough people coming through, because imagine having over 1,200 seats approximately, and imagine filling just half, you wouldn't be very satisfied. Because for the most part, in our part of the world, here in Ghana, not even just Africa, but just here in Ghana, I've realized that our audience are actually drifting away towards different jurisdictions and different industries, but we filmmakers over here, Ghanaians, some of us are actually striving our best to bring back the attention and the love that Ghanaians have lost in our films. And so getting the place full was actually mandatory for us, and we needed to actually make it happen. And so even though we were not looking forward to filling the place as we were surprised on the day, we were looking forward to having a lot more people coming through though.
All right, so let's go back to shooting Trapped. I think the latter part, after the 1 and 2 and 3 were being posted on YouTube already, was it?
The 1 and 2,
How tedious was it? Was it stressful? Was it tedious? Were there sleepless nights? Tell us briefly about it.
You speaking about sleepless nights makes me remember the second part when we're done. My my actors were totally exhausted. And I remember they were asking me, "Is it going to continue like this? Like, if people are going to look forward to seeing the next sequel, is it that we are going to also have to go through a whole day without rest and all that?" You see, shooting films are quite difficult, especially when you are working against a clock.
Yeah.
And with Trapped, it wasn't any different because the first one, to begin with, everything had to happen, or the entire story had to happen within a space of, let's say, 20 minutes in the story, sort of. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
But the production, of course, can't run under
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
We needed to move things here and there. If there were mistakes, we needed to correct them. And we're also racing against the sun.
Yeah.
Because when we were done, we didn't necessarily plan to shoot it during dusk. But it got us to it, got to the dusk part. But just before sunset, we were supposed to quickly take some of the shots as quick as we could. So what really held us out would be the consecutive rehearsals that we had,
Okay.
because our actors had to be in the move of things to know that, okay, so if I'm improvising or if I'm doing this, I should make sure that this shot, if I move this hand or that hand, subsequently I should also move this hand, because we were working with just one camera. I filmed on one camera, just one camera. Yeah.
Wow.
Most of our films are actually filmed on one camera.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Truly.
Wow. Okay.
Because the caliber of the camera that we have, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro, we have just one of that.
Okay.
And then also because we are just a small crew trying to create something big, because what I've actually learned in my journey is that if you don't have all the things in the world, all the money, all the equipment in the world, still try and maximize the little that you have. So we're maximizing not just the equipment, but also the workforce or the human resource. So ourselves, we were doubling as the DOP. I was doubling as DOP director. Casti was doubling as the sound, operator, the boom operator. Yes, as well as the screenwriter, and also helped out with the directing, because we were actually the two who had envisioned, and we knew exactly what we wanted to bring into reality, into visuals. So Trapped 1 was very strenuous, I would say, because I remember we even had to have two kids in the shot. And during makeup, kids were moving around energetic and all that. But when the time came for us to shoot, they were totally exhausted. And now you couldn't even persuade them or convince them with, not even sweets could even help us.
Oh my God.
They were totally gone, and
kids, when they're exhausted, There's nothing. Nothing.
And yeah, that was one of the challenges. And I also remember that besides the time, we were also, of course, in relation with the time, still we're going to have to race against our shadows, because the lights was just right behind me operating the camera, because we needed a light to shine right in the faces of our subjects, Miss Lawson and Ira. They had to have the lights right in their faces, and they had to be consistent as well. So as we were shooting, we could see our shadows here and there. And we had friends to look out for those things. And these friends couldn't stand directly behind us because we feared that we could catch their shadows as well over there. So it had to be just the two of us. So I was looking out for the boom mic not showing in the shot, and Cassie was also looking out for my shadow not also showing in the shot. So we were doing this in tandem, and it was really, really stressful, because whenever we caught ourselves in there, we couldn't tell when it started or when our shadows started seeping into it. So we had to shoot it all from the start again. And this was when it was almost getting to sunset and all that. So it was really, really stressful.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think the second one was also tedious because we had two locations. Namely the restaurant, and also secondly the room scene where we shot some bit of some intimate scenes and all that. And I remember was really noisy in the space of the restaurant because, of course, a public
Yeah, yeah,
space.
yeah.
So you can't just tell people to keep quiet and all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's someone's space, and you've been given that opportunity to shoot there. So
Mm-hmm.
all that we could do was to shoot during a period of time where um, even though it was working hours, but corporate workers were actually working in their spaces somewhere,
Okay.
and they will only come for lunch during the afternoons.
Was that where the scene where Miss Lawson met with this guy?
Exactly, yeah.
Do you know? I actually thought you guys, how do I say, rented the whole place because it was so calm, and I'm like,
we don't have all the money in the world. We just
but it
picked a
was
particular
so
time.
good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, just that we were still supposed to race against time because what Casti wrote had to have that location used for a major part of the film,
Yeah.
of the second part.
Yeah.
So we realized that even though we started around 10,
Mm-hmm.
I think 10, 12, yes, we weren't done until after 6 p.m.
Wow.
So I think 6 p.m. we were packing up or packing our things together and just about to settle for the second location.
Okay.
And it was almost sunset when we had to put together and assemble some lights to mimic the consistent light flow because we still needed to make sure that everything ensued in a couple of hours in the film.
Okay.
So that was also challenging. Then back into the room, the second space. The major challenge that we had was the space, the size.
Okay.
The room space wasn't big enough, but because we had started that out in the first part, showing some back story scenes in there, we still had to come to that particular place to reshoot, or should I say to shoot those scenes for the second part to make it cohesive. Because we didn't decide to shoot a second sequel until we realized that people were loving it.
Okay.
Then we had to go back to it.
Yeah.
So anytime that we found ourselves wanting a little bit, we needed to go back to writing and also making sure that subsequently we write things around the things that we had access to that are easy to get back to. Yeah.
Okay. So how many full feature films do you have out?
Currently we have two, Room 406 and Trapped. Yes.
Trapped.
Yeah.
The Last Supper.
The Last Supper is a short
It's a
film.
short film.
It's a short film,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it can be found on the Greatest Productions channel as well. Yeah.
So I'd also like to ask,
Mhm.
what inspired Trapped? Like, what inspired the whole movie Trapped? Because, personally, how it was hyped was massive.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, then I'm sure something actually did inspire this Trap because it was so emphasized on.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
What inspired Trapped? Couple of things actually. First of all, it's film industry or movie industry in Ghana. Realize that a ton of people are losing interest in sometimes some films that are churned out. People don't really get out there in their numbers to go watch them. So we needed to create something that is quite close or similar to what Ghanaians now love.
Okay.
I'm sure that you bear me out that Ghanaians will pick Nigerian films over Ghanaian films.
Well,
100 times over.
As sad as it
100
is.
times over.
Yeah.
And that's because per our research and our raves that we did on campus publicizing Trapped, we came to realize that Ghanaians would say they wouldn't watch a Ghanaian film over a Nigerian film just because of, let's say, storyline, which is not anything new because we are always recycling stories.
Yes.
Others would also say that Ghanaians produce films that are not good enough, that don't cut it. Vaguely like that. They can't actually go in depth into why they wouldn't watch a Ghanaian film over that.
Yeah.
So we had to sit back and analyze and realize that what we realized was that a Ghanaian would say they haven't seen a Ghanaian film that captivates them because they haven't actually given a Ghanaian film the time of day.
Yeah.
They would rather watch Nigerian films each and every day. And so it's only Nigerian films that, the algorithms on YouTube, Netflix and all that, it just pushes to you content that it believes that you are interested in.
Yeah.
Based on your clicks and all that. Yeah. It monitors your activity online. So it knows what to show you. So you realize that every time that you click on YouTube,
Yeah.
the films that you want to watch are definitely going to be the Nigerian ones because that's what
Yeah.
you're drawn to.
Yeah.
Not just Nigerians are really doing so well with penetrating into our industry so much that they are even using our language, our food in their music,
That's true.
in their
That's true.
films.
Yeah, so true.
They
Yeah.
come to Ghana to shoot films. Sometimes you don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
They come here to do a lot of stuff with our culture.
Yeah.
Something that we have to uphold and also incorporate in ours. So sad that even our language, we call it vernacular in busy schools when we were coming up. So it's really infringes on our progress to push forward to make it happen for us. So this was the major inspiration that we had for Trapped.
Okay.
That let's create something that Ghanaians will see and wonder. Oh, okay. All right. You say a movie called Trapped. This is interesting. What could it be about? Let me just go and watch it. Yeah. So we needed to try it out with a short film.
Okay.
Then they loved it. Realized that they were talking about cinematography, the acting, and trust me, we are really keen on acting. Our actors, we take them through series of rehearsal, a ton of it, so that they'll be abreast with the story, their characterization, so that if, let's say for instance, Era is Era, Era should become Pukuya.
Okay.
So that we can see that distinction between Pukuya and Era. So Era is supposed to take herself out of herself into Pukuya, so that she can act as Pukuya.
Okay.
So that you can actually, relate with the character and not relate with Era. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I get you.
Yes. So that's what we always take our actors through, so they understand their roles very well. So that whatever it is they're even going to wear, for instance, they'll be able to, showcase and exhibit it well, and it will also transcend to their performance as well. So that's also one of the things that we're really keen on, and also our language, the dialect, and even if it's English, we ensure that the grammar and everything are all checked because
of course
we don't want our films to just end up here.
Yes.
We want it to go beyond the shores of Ghana, so it can appeal to the global market, because that's what Ghanaians will be proud of if our films actually get that far. So the inspiration is a whole lot. The major inspiration is that Ghanaians are just keeping their eyes away, but we can do it here. We filmmakers, passionate filmmakers for that matter, are still here in Ghana cooking out films. But if after 5 years Ghanaians are still going to say that, we wouldn't watch a Ghanaian film over a Nigerian film, then it means that we are not really doing our work so well. So that's why we are trying to fight against and make sure that we pin it down and get Ghanaians back with their love to our films. Yeah.
Okay. So I would also like to add up with this, right? Okay. Because of what you said, sincerely speaking, I don't know if I ever told you, the first time I met you and you talked about movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was actually trying here and there, and it was going a certain way. I'm like, forget it. So I stopped. Then you talked about yours, and I'm like,
okay.
Director, this movie is not dear. I have given up, and I'm like, nah. So then I went and I watched your movies. I'm like, God damn. God, thank you so much for linking Kobby to me. And then we worked, and it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah. Once upon a line,
cinematography,
right? Doing our best.
The what do they call it? Dialogues, the everyday arrangement, everything was so good. I promise, and I'm so grateful to God for making me be on that.
Oh yeah, that's I'm really proud of it. People actually loved your character. I won't lie, because I remember everybody was like, who's this girl who's so much of a talkative? Who's this girl who's like nyati like that? And I thought people were going to love the main character, but now the supporting role played just a minute part of the film. But even though it was the opening scene and all that, they didn't forget about the character in the middle, not even at the end. They still remember that there was somebody like this, and everybody's talking about you. And that really tells about your zeal and your readiness to actually make it happen for yourself, because everybody needs to shine, no matter how small the role is that you've been offered. Because if I'm going to be behind the camera and somebody will look at my work and say, I love the quality. It should be because I made sure that the quality stood out.
Yes.
It's not just because of the beautiful girls who are in there, but people can say, I love the quality. The colors are good.
Yeah.
You're not talking about the girls, but you're talking about the overall look. And the
Yeah.
overall look is overseen by the director, and the director has to stand out no matter what.
Okay.
Even though I'm not in the film, I'm behind the camera, my look should speak for who I am and what I'm supposed to put out there.
All right.
Yeah.
I would also like to ask, what makes you so different from other directors out there? What do you think makes you different? What makes you stand out? Because there are a whole lot of directors in Ghana, and everybody's trying their best. I mean, I wouldn't say nobody's work isn't good, but everybody's trying. Because no matter how little the production is, there's money that goes in.
Yeah.
There's time.
Yeah.
You know. So, what do you think makes you different from other people, other directors out there?
What actually makes me different is, I would say, my efforts in, that I put in researching and always striving to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday, because I'm always trying new things. I'm not scared of taking risks. I'm always researching, watching YouTube videos and all that, every time getting myself in tune with what's in vogue and trying to find ways to fine tune it and add my spin to it to make it unique, like my own. So every time I'm trying to advance and use something. But of course, in my part of the world, I don't have access to all the things that I learn how to use. I can tell you that I know a lot of things about some equipment that I haven't ever touched before. When I get hold of it right now, I can actually do something with it, but I don't have it here. However, I learn in advance to always keep up, so that if I am lucky enough one day on a set and I'm given such an opportunity to use certain equipment, I'll be able to still pull it off. So that's what I feel makes me stand out, because it also speaks in my work. When my work comes out, people can actually tell there's this kind of like peculiar look to it that people can identify my work by, and they will know that definitely this is from Kobby. Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. So I would say my zeal to become a better version of myself, and also what I put into practice, what I apply, and it shows forth in my work. The coloring, the cinematography, the story idea of our films and all that. Everything is so much important to me that it has this kind of consistent style. And I also work with the same set of people because I believe in growing together. We have Casti Damson, who writes the stories that I always shoot. We also have Maximade, who is a wonderful sound engineer who works on our sound and produces music also for our production, so that we can copyright our films as well, to rid off pirates or piracy. And we also have Tepakwa, who's also a remarkable actor, screenwriter and all that. So we have a solid team. The core of Greatest Productions is situated on these three people in addition to me, and we are the ones for running this. And because we've grown together, we have this consistent style, and it also speaks in the work that I put out there, because whenever I put out a work, it has the names of these guys I've mentioned written all over it. So it keeps our work consistent and is always improving. Because we learn together.
Sorry. What are some of the challenges you face as a producer, as a director? What are some of the challenges your team faces that you think could have been better if you had the right equipment or I don't know, whatever? But what are the actual challenges you face?
All right, the actual challenge, I would say, is that I wouldn't talk about equipment. Everybody will talk about equipment. I wouldn't, because it's not because I have everything, but I feel like I still believe in the fact that if you don't have everything in the world and you have the little bit of stuff that you can still create something with, that's fine. So I wouldn't talk about that. But I would say my major or our major challenge that we've faced consecutively has been with actors. it's not that we lack actors, but whenever you work with an actor
Mm-hmm.
and the work comes out, I'm actually going to blow my own horn because when we put the work out there and it's that good,
Mm-hmm.
people kind of poach the actors.
Okay.
And they can hold them for like as long as they want, and the next person takes them on to the next set like that. And when you need them for your next project, it's tough to bring them over.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've also understood from the actors, anytime you want them to come through, is that they want to know about the schedule and all that, things that they used to not ask about. And that tells you that wherever that they go to, they're able to do it real quick and they move on to the next. But something that I think um, most of our actors don't pay attention to is that the reason why we take time on set
Mm-hmm.
is to make sure that every nook and cranny is covered up.
Okay.
And where exactly we want the film to go to, we need to be sure that every minute detail and every stone is not left unturned.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Every part of the film needs to be covered. But because we don't have, the right people in number, we are going to have to double up and, work against the clock, against our minds, work ourselves off to be able to bring this out. And it affects them as well. And when they leave our sets and we have something remarkable, it comes out, people see it, and they get hold of them and work with them, it's quite difficult to bring them back to work on projects seamlessly as it used to be. But I mean, it's all part of it. We understand. So we are open to actually helping out, putting out helping hands to bring more people in so that we can learn and grow the industry. Because if I feel like if we have much more actors in the pool to pick from, I think this problem will be at the end of the history.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you're based here in Kumasi?
Yeah, we are for now, based here in Kumasi. We want to elevate, the name of Kumasi because here in Ghana, films are much more applauded over there and appraised over there in Accra as compared over here. But we are shooting a whole lot of films each and every day. Most often than not, it ends up on YouTube. But for mainstream films that are coming from Kumasi, yeah, that started out and we are putting out great work. Just that, Ghanaians haven't actually focused their minds back to us from Kumasi that we actually doing mainstream films again, as it used to be when Ejaku and Lewin and Kwakumenu Dems were, doing all that.
Okay.
But we are bringing that back now. Yeah. And we are also incorporating other dialects and languages to it to add the spice on to appeal to other regions as well.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's good. So is Greatness Production open to work with people outside Kumasi?
We are. I would say some months back we were focusing on just ourselves here in Kumasi so that we could show the world that in Ghana, to be precise, here in Kumasi we have our own grind on and all that. But now that we've been able to show that off, we are open to working with people from any other part of the world, not even just here in Ghana.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how do people then contact you guys if they actually want to be a part of your production?
All right. You can reach us out on our social media platforms. We have Greatest Productions on YouTube, Greatest Productions on TikTok, Instagram as well, and also through email, greatnessproductions1@gmail.com. You can contact us through that. And also, if you want me to leave a number, I can leave 1054 223 6420. 054 223 6420. And you can contact us through these avenues. Yeah, I wanted to add one more number, but I think the avenues are quite enough. Wherever you reach us through, we can actually respond, and we will actually respond. And we are open to any sort of deal, being it film, commercial, whatsoever. We do all that. Yes. And because it's championed by myself, you can also check out my work right here on YouTube, Greatness Productions, as well as Kobbyshots. Yes.
But you don't do only movies, do you?
we started working on some bit of commercials, but just
Okay.
that we haven't been able to put them out yet because of our clients haven't actually approved of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But we are looking at creating a lot of spec ads, which are adverts that we are going to create ourselves
Yeah.
and put out there so that people know what we are
Okay.
actually into
Okay.
and the diverse production, jobs that we are ready to take up. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Mhm.
Now, I would like to ask if there's any advice you'd like to give to any producer out there, people seeing you as their role model,
Mhm.
aspiring to be like you. What do you have for them?
All right, guys. I would say that you have to keep on pushing because life is tough. If you are from this part of the world, here in Ghana, for instance, and you are looking forward to thrive in this field, then you have a big hurdle to jump. Huge one. Trust me, because things are not easy at all. You are going to have to do almost everything yourself. If you have helping hands, like you, however, they are going to also have to be motivated by yourself. So it comes down to you, the person who is aspiring to become, let's say, a producer. I mean, my fellow producers who are already in the game understand what I'm talking about because most often than not, you realize that you produce a film and it comes out and maybe people wouldn't really appreciate it the way that you wish they would. And there's a film that you spend like months and months and months to make.
Yeah.
And it comes out and you just get a couple of views. Let's say, for instance, you put it on YouTube
God.
and you're not. Yeah, so it's very discouraging sometimes when it gets to that point.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that practice makes perfect. You have to keep on pushing hard. As you work and work and work on it, you are going to understand the niche that you're building for yourself. You're going to understand that there's a style that you're picking up.
Yeah.
And also taking up opinions from people and understanding if you are going to be criticized, ensure that you take the right ones from it and you don't just go ahead listening to every opinion and incorporating it because you can't please everybody. People always have something to say about your work, but it's just you who initiated this whole thing. If you feel like there's something you can pick up and apply and see if it works with your work, you can go ahead to do that. Just make sure that you make mindful decisions and ensure that your work has your style attached to it every time, so that you don't derail from your course. Because people are going to continuously always say stuff. The best film in the world still has people not liking it, so don't feel bad about it when people critique your work and all that. Just take it to heart, positively, and see how best you can turn those lemons into lemonades because they're very, very important. And also the last thing I would say is that you need to keep on working hard, keep on inspiring, and keep on teaching people because the more I teach people, the better I learn because I always have to be ahead of them. Now, information and the internet has made it very easy for people to quickly access things that they once would look into books for. Now they just, type a few words and keywords just pop up and on Google you can just find anything you want. So that avenue is open to everybody, but of course people still come to you for hands-on practice. So you just need always to keep ahead and teach them. I mean, when people come to you and you feel like you have something to tell, you have something to show, do that because who knows? Because I can on several occasions or some occasions I can confess that I got confronted by some youngsters who wanted to work on that. I think it was during their final year um, project work. So their thesis, they needed to work on something concerning film, and they asked me a couple of questions. I realized that they asked something very important that normally I wouldn't really pay attention to. So it brought my mind to it that you always have to be reading and trying new things and always advancing towards learning the next new thing, and also welcoming people with open arms because you don't know what that person that you don't really, in quotes, regard so much might be asking you, something that might really help you out and even help out, advance you towards whatever it is that you're also working on. So it pushed me to research into that particular aspect to get much more understanding. Then I was able, to, respond back, adequately. Yes, because then I was fortified enough to understand. But because I had a little bit more experience, I was able to apply the little bit I had. So in as much as you are learning, you need to also apply and to ensure that whatever it is you're learning actually works before you can, go ahead to teach others. So these are the words I can say.
All right. And he even talked about turning lemons into lemonade. You know what I'm about to say? He makes the best lemonade.
Oh,
sincerely speaking.
That's a little lemonade.
No. See, he was doing it for fun, but then it became real because everybody rushed it.
And funny enough, Sak was the one stirring it.
that was
Don't you
so
think, Sak?
good.
Don't you think
No,
Sak
he didn't. No, he
added
didn't.
some secret
No, he
ingredient?
didn't.
Because
No, he didn't. It was so good. It was so good. And
thank you so much.
Kobby, thanks for having me.
I really appreciate you.
It's been a great moment here with you.
Yeah. I can't wait to work on the next project with you. Trust me. Yeah.
I can't wait.
You're gonna break a whole lot of barriers and all that in the film industry here in Ghana.
Oh.
Yeah, and I can't wait to do that with you. Yes.
And I'll be so glad to work with you. So glad to work with you.
We've got a lot of work to do.
Oh, thank you so much.
So yeah.
So this has been my time with Kobbyshots. My name still remains Sweet Baby White. And
I'm Kobby, yes, as usual. Subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to turn on the post notification button, and I'm going to catch you the next time in the next video. Have a wonderful day. See ya.